Hello everyone, welcome back to Object Oriented Programming with Java tutorials. In this video tutorial or in this session, you will learn about the importance modules of Java. I mean to say how you will write programs with Java. So before we proceed with this session, you will find out a few features which we have learned in the last session. So last session we have learned about a very important concept, the first step into a Java programming is. First, what we have learned in the last day is, we have learned in the last day, the first concept we have learned how to execute a Java program and what are the important terms we have involved in execution of Java program. That is something called it as bytecode, and we have seen the differences about bytecode and object code. And the next thing is we have discussed about what is the platform and what does the mean of platform dependent as well as independent. And the next thing what we have learned is we have learned about what is a keyword, what is an identifier and what is a variable is. Yes, we have done with this last session. We have been working with this in the last session and I was showing you a simple example with a simple variable concept. Now let me tell you what are the definitions for keyword, identifier as well as the variable is. So before we proceed into this, please try to note down these important definitions. Maybe these questions you may get in interviews. So the first one is keywords. What are the keywords or? Keywords are the words, the definition which is already defined by the specific compilers. Mean to say that the word meaning which is already explained to a specific compiler. So you can't change the meaning of a particular word which is working with a specific compiler. In case if you are working with Java, there are a particular 60 plus keywords are available. All these keywords which cannot be used for another purpose. And followed by an identifier. Identifiers are the words or are the names which can be used in terms of your program whenever it is required. So that is where we have three different rules for this. The first rule of an identifier is identifier name should not start with any special character except underscore. The second important point about identifier is it cannot be starts with any digits, something like 0 to 9. And third point is the identifier name cannot be any keyword of that particular compiler. If a compiler of Java, you are supposed to not to use any of the 60 plus keywords for that application development. And the last important rule is the identifier name always starts with either underscore or else it can be starts with an alphabet. There are the few rules which we need to remember in terms of constructing an identifier name. What are the constructors here? Constructors are something which variable names are an identifiers, array names are an identifiers, class names is an identifiers, structure names is an identifier names, union names is also identifier, because all these names which is defined by a specific programmer. So that's the reason all of this comes under simple terminology, call it as an identifier. Now let me talk about variable is. Variable is a name which we can give it to a memory location. So name of the location which we have renamed with a name of a variable is. That is what we can basically use the terminology, call it as a variable is. These are the three important rules or three important points which we required for the current day session, right? So that session 4, day 4, we work with how to write the programs with operator concept. Am I very clear? So let me talk about the session today. What is the agenda of this stage? What is an objective of this session is? The objective of this session to learn about what is an operator, what is an operand, as well as what are the expressions. Am I very clear? So let me, before proceeding of this, you guys has to be bit good in this particular concept. The objective of this session is you have operators, operands as well as expressions. To work with this the concept, you guys has to be good in these three perspectives. The perspectives are keywords, identifiers as well as the variables. These are the three concepts you have to be good at. So once you good at, we will learn about the today's topic. What are the data types which we have in the current day first session? So let me talk about the different data types here. Okay. So what are the data types we have right now? There are two different data types which we basically use. One is a primitive data and second is non-primitive data. Okay. So the primitive data comes under numerics, right, and the second one comes with strings, okay, or else arrays or else user defined types. Okay. Once we come with a numeric again comes with 2 points. One is integer and second one is a floating. Yes, these are the two things which we have. Again integer can be define it as 4 more different types. One is integer followed by byte, followed by what I can call it as short, followed by again long. Okay. So I guess you guys have known about these factors, right? As you are in a programming of C, which we have already learned about, right, which we have learned about the different data types, right? In C, we have learned about different data types. Like for example, if I'm working with C, if I'm writing with the programming of C, the data which is not sufficient, for example, every integer in, I'm talking about C and C++, right? So if I'm talking about C and C++, if I'm talking about C and C++, every integer takes 2 bytes. For example, I want to store a number which is of more than 10 digits, 12 digits. What I usually take, I'll take in terms of integer, I'll take it as some long data type. Long is also not efficient, then I will go for double long. Okay. All the similar way of data types which we have find in Java also. So first one is we have an integer, we have a byte, we have a short, we have again something call it as a long. And floating point, again same thing, one is double and one is float. And non-numeric character as well as booleans. Please try to draw this information in the current notes. Okay. Very important terminology about the different data types in Java. If someone is asking in interviews, what are the different types of data type and how you categorize these data types? It is pretty simple thing. You just need to explain about this factors. Primitive as well as non-primitive. Primitive comes with the 2 parts. One is numeric as well as non-numeric. Numeric again comes with the 2 more things. One is integer as well as floating point. And again integer converted as a 4 more important points, that is long, int, short as well as byte. Followed by a floating point which we have something call it as double and float. Okay. And followed by non-numeric comes with character as well as boolean, whereas non-primitive data types comes with strings, arrays as well as user defined classes. All this comes under this. Okay, if you just observe carefully, I'll just show you how you'll use this particular thing. You can use the numeric if I talking about integer. Yes, this integer how many bytes? Byte is only 1 byte, short is also 2 bytes, integer 4 bytes, long 8 bytes. For example, I want to store a mobile number which is of 10 digits. So I'll directly go for long here because this long is capable to store more than more than 10 digit number here. Okay. For example, I want to store a simple character, single character, then I'll go for a data type called as character, right? So what is this boolean? Boolean is a new data type which we find from C or C++. If you just observe carefully in C and C++, we won't find any keyword called boolean. What does it basically do? What you guys will do in terminology of C is, it is pretty simple. You can just check it out if you are writing, if you are good at the programming of C. Yes, you have, for example, I want to store a data. For example, I want to write expression called A less than B. As it is an expression, this expression have a return value, right? So this return type or return value of this particular expression we usually store in terminology of, actually it is true and next one is false, right. As we don't have any keyword called true and false in programming of C and C++, we don't have any keyword called programming true and false, so that we usually represent the return type as integer I is equals to a less than b. So what does it means? This a less than b as an expression which may returns true and false, as we don't have a data type called true false, which basically stored in terminology of 0 and 1. 0 in the sense it is false, right. Any 1, nothing but it is true. If this value of integer, if I say, if I want to say that, for example, if I value is equals to 1, nothing but the expression is returns true. If I value is nothing but 0, nothing but it has returned something as false. So as we have written this one in C, okay, maybe you are writing with programming of C, or else you can write with the programming of C++, which have a same combination. But as you are writing of Java program, you don't have that kind of process, okay. In Java compiler, they directly given a keyword called it as boolean, bool. We represent it as a keyword with bool. What is this bool keyword we basically do? This bool keyword is used to store either this true, which is returned from here, right, either it is returned from here false, okay. So if it is say bool is equals to true, nothing but the expression whatever you are going to write, it is returned as true. The bool, if it is written as nothing but false, nothing but the expression which we have written, it is written nothing but false, okay. So that we have a flexibility in Java now, okay. When it is comes to non-numeric is comes with the strings. What is the major difference? People have a doubt with the difference between character and a string. Yes. So for example, there are the two questions we have. For example, I want to store a student grade. So student grades are nothing but how it basically will be A, B, C or D. These are the 4 grades which we have for every student, anyone, okay. And also I want to store something called, student name, right. Student name is something like this, okay. For example, student name is this one, yes. For example, if I want to store this particular one, here we have a primitive data type called char. So this char is able to store either A or either B, only one character is going to store. Where it is comes to a name which is of more than single character, we do define a variable called string. This string can be enclosed always with double quote, a character, single character always enclosed with single character, single quotation. You can just see that here I want to store with single quotation, here I want to store with double quotation, okay. So here this one is able to store this, okay. So now in Java, this one comes under primitive data types, right. This string comes under non-primitive data type, alright. So as you guys are clear right now, so right now there are the differences you need to understand here, okay. You need to understand the differences. The differences is every character can be enclosed with single quotation. A group of characters we usually call it as a string which enclosed in double quotations. Am I very clear, guys? So now in Java, these are the two different keywords, or where we can represent it in the two different ways. The first one is about string and the second one is about a character, yes. Now let me talk about arrays now. Arrays in the sense we in next coming days we have a separate lesson to learn about arrays. At the time we are going to discuss, and we are right now we are working with user defined classes. The class which we have to define all are comes under non-primitive data type, except all these things. For example, For integer, we have a int keyword, char keyword, all these things, which is a which is a predefined words. All this comes under all this particular words. Whatever you're going to define here, this is all comes under the process of keywords, because these are the words which is already given by your compilers. If someone want to write all these things, it is not defined by your compiler, it is defined by a user, so that this one is called it as an identifier. That's the reason before you starting this lesson, you guys be perfect in the previous session. Yes, that's the reason to learn about this session. I told you that there are a few important points you need to learn from the last session. The first one is keyword and second one is an identifier. Am I very clear, guys? Now, let me talk about what is an operator. Yes, what is an operator? Okay, so you may see that the different kind of operators in your examples, right? You may see an operator as this one, you may see operator as this one, you may see operator as this one, you may talk about operator as this one, you may see an operator like this. All are comes under an operator concept. Yes or no? See that sometimes you may see an operator like this, sometimes you may see an operator like this, right? Some way you have seen an operator like this, somewhere you have seen like this, somewhere you have seen like this. Okay, yes, this is comes all are, we usually call it as an operator. First, what is my question is, what is an operator first? First thing is, what is an operator? If I am writing an expression, right, for example, I want to write an expression called C is equals to A plus B. Is it expression, right? If I see this, if I just flip to my things to your application, you just see this here. If I am writing an expression C is equals to A plus B, in this there are a few operators are involved. Plus is an operator, equals is an operator. Yes or no? C, A and B, these three call it as an operands, or also you can also call it as a variable also, variable names also, anything is fine. Alright, because this variable can holds you one value. For example, A is equals to 10. Before I am doing this, I need to declare these two variables, right? So let's say A, B and C. First, I usually declare these variables. Once I will do declaration, I will initialize the values to it. Then after that, I do assign some value to this. Yes or no? These are the three proctors, and after that, after end of expression, I do get the value of C is equals to 30. This is what I will get. Yes or no? But what is my question is, what is this plus and what is this equals are doing here? As you know that plus is using for addition sign. Yes or no? Yes, very important thing you need to understand here. As you are doing with the programming of C, as you have done with the programming of C++, as you are right now, you are doing a programming with Java. So that you are habituated that this plus sign is used for addition process. Yes or no? But question yourself, whenever you are writing this expression, as you have written any program that this plus sign has to perform an addition operation. My question is very clear. Let me repeat the question again. Okay, right now let me very clear about this. For example, if you talk about something is computer is all about set of programs. As you are, for example, as you are working with Notepad, as you are working with Paint, as you are working with Microsoft PowerPoint, or you are working with Microsoft Word. All this application which is designed by the different programmers, which is have a set of programs has been designed so that you are able to work with that particular program. Yes or no? Now you are also writing one program in a such a way that C is equals to A plus B. Am I very clear? Now what is my question to ask yourself is, please ask yourself that have you written any time that this plus sign has to be perform addition operation? Because as you see that calculator application, as I am using calculator application, as I have already written a program to it, so that my programmer has told me that plus is used for addition. Yes or no? But here in this, what is my question is? My question is to make why this plus sign is performing only addition operation. Yes or no? Now, for that, let me clear the things properly first. Right? Now, let me flip to the next one. Okay, very important thing you need to understand here. Operator is a symbol which is used to perform an operations like arithmetic or else logical. Yes, which is assigned by compilers. Please remember this term. Please remember this term, because as whenever it is performing any arithmetic operation or else any logical operation, this is performed based on the request of your compiler. Means what? On the compiler designers, if I write C is equals to A plus B, nothing but the programmers of this compilers, programmer of this designer of this compiler, they have already written a program to it. They have already written a program to it such a way that this plus sign has to add the two numbers, whereas equal sign, which makes you to learn about, has to have the value of addition of these two numbers has to be stored on the left side one. Here the right side one will be get added and it will get stored in left side one, right? So nothing but I can write C is equals to 20, but I can't write it as 20 is equals to C. Yes or no? This is valid syntax, but it is not valid syntax, it is invalid syntax. Alright. So what we'll do is this equal sign is already written a program with this, so that the right side value will be assigned to your left side one. Alright, this one, but not like this one. So that's what the second expression is, wrong expression. Am I very clear now? So how to define an operator? Let me clear with a simple definition, right? Please note it down, this definition, guys. Operator is a symbol. Operator is just a symbol which is used to perform an operations like arithmetic, arithmetic and logical. Means what? There are a few operators which performs arithmetic operation. There are a few operators which performs logical. That mean to say that your computer knows only two kind of operations. The first operation is arithmetic operation. Mean to say that it has to be perform a calculator application. The best example of your arithmetic operation is calculator application. When I say logical application in the sense it's in binary format. May mean to say true and false or all these things comes under your binary, logical expression. All of your computer application which just depends on these two operations. One is arithmetic as well as once it is logical. Once you say some operation is called as an expression, once you called one statement of your program is an expression, that mean to say that the expression is always returns with an operation of arithmetic or else it can be operation of logical. Yes, am I very clear? Now let me identify few more things from my expression. What is the expression I have written here? The expression I have written here something called C is equals to A plus B, in which I have identified that C is equals to this plus sign, this equal sign is called it as an operators, right? So now let me discuss what is the different kind of operators in Java. That is the next concept. Now let me identify this. What is this C? What is the A and what is B? Yes or no? In this case, these three are supposed to be called it as operands. What is that? It is something called it as operands. Now, what is this operands are? Operands are sometimes constant numbers, sometimes are random numbers like variables. Yes. Now let me just tell you one thing in this operator concept. Yes. Now let me tell you about this. Okay. See that here x is equals to a plus b, we usually call it as an expression. Yes or no? Now in this thing, first two we identified that both are operators, and x and a and b we usually call it as an operand. This operand sometime a constant number in the sense it may be a 10, it may be a 20, or else it may be a 30. All this or comes under constant numbers, nothing but the value of a particular variable. There is some kind of operators we have in this. Okay. So the variables were value which cannot be changes at any cost of time, that we usually call it as constant values or constant variables. Okay. These are there are sometimes I can write a, I'll write b, nothing but a and b is not a constant numbers, it is a random numbers which can be changes any time when the program execution gets started. Yes or no? Right. So that is the reason this operand sometime can be a constant number, or else it can be of your random numbers. Random numbers always represented with a variable. A variable right now I can show you with one value, because as every variable can hold only one value at a time. If you want me to store two values, I can't, because a variable gives you space, or a variable gives you allocates the memory on your compiler, which makes to store only one value into it. But whenever the requirement is like this, you want me to store more than one value, in that case I can't use the variable concept at the time, I'll use it for some other process, I'll use it another concept of my programming, I'll use it as array concept, that we have a next lesson for that. Yes or no? Now let me very clear on this part. Now we'll see the list of operators in Java. There are Java programming supports a different kind of list of operators. The list of operators are, we'll categorize one by one and we'll see one by one examples first. First is arithmetic operator, used to perform all the arithmetic operators here. Plus is used to perform addition operation, minus is used for subtraction, cross is used for multiplication, division, and last one is very important, it is something called it as modular division. Please remember that the terminology we usually call it as modular division. Yes, followed by. Okay, so first we will find out one example on all of these operators. We'll find out one example all of these operators, then we'll go to the next set of operators. Okay, so now I'll write a simple program with arithmetic operators now. Yes, am I very clear, guys? Right. So let me talk about. Let me flip to another file. So now let me open the new notepad, so that you can write the program in notepad. You can store this notepad file, right? You can store this notepad file. Say class, file name is demo1, open, close. Class is a keyword, name of the class is a user defined name, it called it as an identifier name. Always class name starts with an uppercase character, right? Every class right now I am writing with, right, a method, call it as public static void main, where I'll write a strings. Yes, I'm going to write a simple function here, a method, we usually call it as, the method name is main method. Why it is main method is, main method is one of the important method for every class whenever you want to execute that class continuously, because the start point of every Java program, okay, the start point or execution point or entry point, there are a few names to it, right? All this entry point of any Java program will be defined with main function. Yes or no? Right. First thing is, I want to define three variables A, B and C. So these are the three variables are declared in my program, right? Declaration is done as soon as the declaration is done, I do assign the value of a is equals to 10, because right now I am taking as the values of constant numbers here. I will take it as constant numbers, right. So, now when it is comes to, for example, when you ask me that as you have any function like scanf in Java, yes, we do have that, right. So, for example, if you are very good in C, there is a function called scanf which is used to read the numbers from input. I mean to say, you need to read the input from your command screen to your program. Yes or no? If you have a function like this, do we have any method or do we have any class in Java, something like that? Yes, we do have it, but I am not introducing right now. It may take some time. Once it is done, right now I am working with static numbers, constant numbers. Then after that, I am working with the functions which is having your applications of systems, right. I mean to say, the predefined class, the predefined methods of Java which used to take the inputs from the user end. Am I very clear, guys? Right. So, the first thing is I am going to display this two members, system.out.println. Yes. So, I do define the value of a and b. A is equals to, right, here plus sign. See that here this, if you are using a plus sign in between a strings, here a is equals to is one string, this plus sign is used as the concatenation. Please remember the term, it is called it as concatenation. What is this concatenation is, if you are using a plus sign between two strings, string 1 followed by string 2. There are the two strings I have. Within these two strings, I am going to use a plus sign. What I am using in the previous integer, same thing I am going to use here. When I am using here, what is the output here? The output is string 1 and a string 2. Alright. There is something called string 1 string. Without having any plus sign, it will get a display. So that here in this case, here it call it as a plus sign. The plus sign is called it as concatenation. It is something like this. For example, hello, welcome is one string, right? Yes, it is one string. Yes, in this string I want to concatenate with some username here. Username is something, say Anil Kumar. So, what will happen now? The output is hello, welcome Anil Kumar. As you guys, you can see that, right? When you log in into your Facebook account, when you log in into a Twitter account, when you log in into a Gmail account, then the top one, it shows you something like this. Hello, welcome to so and so name, right? So, nothing but indirectly or directly, the programmer who has designed that software, the programmer who has designed that program has been used this plus sign for concatenating hello, welcome plus the username what you are entering here. For example, I am entering the username so that this username will be displayed. For example, sometimes I will enter some other name, right. So, for example, I am entering something called APSSDC, right. What will happen now? This particular string will be renamed as this one, right. So, there is a lot of story behind this, but indirectly or directly, the programmer who has designed that particular program, who has used a plus sign to be a part of concatenating both the strings. Am I very clear, guys? Now, let me show you a program again. So, here a is equals to plus a, I am going to show you this a will be add one more string here, say b is equals to, again concatenate the object with b, because as it in object oriented programming, everything has to be represented with an object. See that a is an object here, one object, and here one more object, call it as b. Yes. Now, once it is done, what I am going to do is I need to save this program. Guys, if you are not perfectly alright with the previous session, how to compile and how to run this program, please do see again. This is the last time I am telling you how to compile and how to execute your Java program. Yes, I save this particular program. on somewhere on the D drive, I mean somewhere in part of your application. So let me take it to my D drive. So here I have a program file, call it as Java programming, which is already we have stored some files in the earlier classes. Now I am going to show you a new file into this demo1. Extension of any Java program will be .java. Yes, right, as like a extension for any C program is .c, as like the same thing any extension of your Java program is .java. Please see again, file name, right, file name what I am giving is demo1 dot extension is .java. Yes, save this particular program. Once you save this particular program, you can able to see the file which is on that particular location, right. So demo1.java file you can able to see on the D drive, the file where you got stored. The moment when you completed this, save this particular program, save it, again open command prompt. Yes, open your command prompt. Now let me set a few things in this. Okay, so yes, now let me right now, where is the cursor now? Cursor is in C drive, user folder and Hebion. Now let me go to one backslash one bag. Right now where is your cursor now? Your cursor is in C drive. When you want to shift it to next drive colon, so that what will happen is it will be shifted to the next drive. So right now you can see that your cursor is in D drive now. So I want to shift to a folder where it is presented. The folder name is something called, this particular folder is there in that particular D drive. Now let me show you this. Okay, right now your cursor is in G drive. Let me show you this one. So what is the folders which we have already working in the last class, and today we are working with the folder file name called demo1.java, right? Right. So now I need to compile this program. How to compile it? Java C folder file name is demo1 demo1.java. Okay, this is how you need to compile your Java program. Please remember this, Java C is a compiler name followed by space followed by the file name is demo1.java. Let me click on OK here. So if you have any errors, it's going to show you here. It takes a couple of seconds time. If you don't have any errors, it won't show you any. As soon as this program is compiled successfully, you can just check it out again directory. What is that file directory have? This previously we don't have any file called demo1.class file. Yes, as if it is generated demo1.class file, in the sense the file whatever you have written which is does not have any errors. Yes, next thing is I just need to compile my program Java followed by demo1. What is the output right now showing is A is equals to 10 and B is equals to 3. Yes, am I very clear now? Now let me go to my program again. Yes, now first thing is let me say system dot out dot println. Yes, I'm going to show you the value of A and B. Let me copy this. Let me paste here. Before this, I'll add the 2 here. C is equals to A plus B, right? So right now value of A is something, B is something. Now what I want to show is A, B and followed by I'll show the C value also. Simple as that, right? Plus C. I'm adding one more variable to it. Yes or no? Right? But this has happened after system dot out dot println something, say after plus sign, I mean to say after arithmetic operation has been done, what is the values you have. Alright. So now let me save this particular program, open your compiler again, just again you can just compile your program, right. So there is something wrong in your program now, right. So let me say plus sign is got missed here, right, because as we are concatenating it, right. Now let me compile this again program, because right now you got see that error, right. So the error is something like there is no plus sign between B and C. So that's the reason instead of here I have given equal sign, but it is not equal sign, it would be a plus sign. Yep. So now let me clear the screen. So now you can just execute the Java program, Java followed by the file name is demo1. Like execute this. What is the value right now? A is equals to 10, B is equals to 3 and C is equals to 13. Yes or no? Right now we are adding the value of A and B and we are storing in the value of C, right? Is it clear now? Yes. Now go to the next one. Please try to follow the rules how I am following this, right? So try to write the programs as much as you can so that it is a better practice to learn the programming. Yes, I'll write it as after minus sign. What will happen now, right? This would be after plus sign, right? This is after minus sign, right? So now again I want to show you something, this one. I want to show the value of A, B and C now, right? Save this particular program, go to the command prompt, just clear the screen, compile the Java program. No have any errors, no, I'll just directly write Java followed by demo 1, executed. You're going to see that value of A is 10, right, B is 3 and C is equals to 13. After plus sign, after minus sign, you can just see that A value is 10, B value is 3 and C value is what? 7, because 10 minus 3, it is the value which has been stored, something like 7. Yes or no? Right, like this you can write all the operators here. C is equals to A cross B, right. Let me copy these 2 lines of code again. Let me paste here, right. Here after cross sign, what will be the output, right? And I am going to show you something like C is equals to A division by B, again same, right. So now let me show you, this is after division sign, right. But the important factor you need to understand, C is equals to A modular division by B, and let me show you again what is this modular division sign going to do. Very, very important factor, and I will show you the differences between division sign, and most of the people have a doubt. What is this modular division sign? And here this is a division sign. There are a lot of differences, but let me show you with an example now. Let me first clear the screen. Let me compile the Java program now. Yes, Java program is done. Then you can just say demo 1. Yes, you can just understand. I hope you guys are clear the first factors, right? So you can just see that the first ones are very simple. The first one is addition sign, you got the output as 13. Negative sign, I mean to say minus sign, you got the 7, and multiplication is 30. And here just you need to look after here. What is this 3 and what is this 1, right? So if I say A division by B, what is the output I got? 3, right? If I say A percentile B, A modular B division by B, what is the output I got? 1. So here this one takes coefficient. It takes what? Coefficient. Please remember that it takes coefficient, and this takes remainder. Very important thing, right? Very important thing is it's a remainder factor. Very important thing is it takes coefficient. Coefficient in the sense, if I say 10, 3, okay, let me clear it again, 3 of 10. How many times it is? 3 times, so that you will get the value of 9. So here it is 1, right? This 1 is the output for modular division. This 3 is the output for this particular value, right? Hope you guys clear about modular division as well as division operator. Yes or no? Right. So just check it out, this program. So just writing a simple Java program to add, subtraction, multiplication as well as division as well as modular division part. Okay. So this is a simple program which will demonstrate you the first set of operators, call it as arithmetic operators. Yes. Now second set of operators we usually call it as assignment operator. It is pretty simple operator which basically assign the value from right side to left side value. Alright. Means what? I mean to say that if you are writing another program of Java, so that you will understand very easily how this will be get works. Okay. Now let me open the again notepad, one more notepad file. So in this notepad file, try to write one more Java program which demonstrate you. Say demo 1 is already there, make it as demo 2. Try to write a public static void main string args. I'll tell you what is the string args in the next coming days time, right? Close it, right? Say I'm defining the variable of integer a comma b, or else say x comma y, right? If I say x is equals to 10, right? So y is equals to 0. So what it mean to say that the value of x define it as 0, the value of y is define it as x is define it as 10, value of y is define it as 0, nothing but the right side value will be assigned it to your left side. Here also same, the right side value of 0 will be assigned it to left side. There are a few chances, you will write like this, x is equals to y. What does it mean to say that? Value of variable y which is assigned it to variable of x, nothing but 0 is assigned it to x. Indirectly you can also do one thing, y is equals to, you can write it as x, mean to say that x value of variable will be identified to value of y's. Alright. So these are the second set of operators. Sometimes it can be a constant value, sometimes it can be a random value. Yes, right. Hope you guys clear on the second one, right. So that's it for the day. So we have learned about the two set of operators today. One is arithmetic operator, second one is assignment operator. These two operators will be very important for the next set of operators. For example, if I am going for the next set of operators, it is very important to know about the previous operators. Okay. So that when you guys are coming for the next lesson, coming for the next session, you are in a position to answer for the few questions here. What are the questions you have to answer? The first question you have to answer, what is a keyword? Second one is, what is an identifier? And third one is, what is a variable? First three questions. And the fourth question is, what is an operator, what is an operand, and what is expression? 6 questions. You have to be in a position to answer for these 6 questions. Very simple. Every question takes you exactly a half minute to read that answer. Alright. So that's it for the day. Thank you so much for listening to us. Have a great day. By the way, I'm Anil Kumar.